We have sound now. Welcome to the 96th episode of Collecting Profit. What? Happy Monday. No sound. Johnny, how's it going, buddy? How are you? Lockin, I have to go ahead and apologize to you, sir. Um, when you sent that email about the Fred Lynn card, which the guy did eventually go ahead and he did make an offer, and I went ahead and called you John in the email. I apologize. I know it's Jason. So hope all's going well. Hope it's going well, man. So whew, today, big day today. Big day today. Today is Alan Ginter release day. There's a lot of breaks going on. A lot of breaks going on today. So if you're unfamiliar with Alan Ginter, you want to see what the new design looks like, go ahead, go on YouTube. Not right now, maybe later, and you can go ahead and see what some of them look like. So looks like what do you call it? Looks like there have been some nice cards pulled. Not 100%, sure. I have seen them. They look pretty cool. They do have some nice, I've seen some of the Chrome cards pulled. Haven't really seen anything massive yet, but then again, I've only watched two breaks, so I haven't really watched a lot. So I'm not 100% sure, from that standpoint. So uh, I would tell you guys I hate these glasses. I probably did about 100 times, or at least 96 times. Uh, so yeah, so One I had several. That's very good. Kenny Weaver said, "How you doing?" So we had, you have John here, almost at big episode 98, big episode number 100. Kenny Weaver, what's going on? I have seen more rip cards, Kenny, pulled. I really haven't seen anything massively hit out of him. I saw there was one guy who posted that he got a Christopher Morel one, and he ripped it, and all he had inside was a Fernando Tatis base. So, again, there's some good stuff in there. Uh, I tell you one thing I noticed today. I saw a couple of breaks. I actually saw a couple of auctions that were going on that are player based. So, you go ahead and bid on a player, and you figure, with Alan Ginter, that's a pretty big checklist. So, doing a break, uh, you know, based off of players, that was interesting from that standpoint. Speaking of breaks, breaking news here at Huddle Card. Remember I mentioned about working with District to get on District. I am in the process right now. I've had a Zoom call to start to learn the platform, and that's where I will be wind up running breaks. Um, you know, Being kicked off of eBay didn't help me, so we will go ahead and we will run breaks on District once I get everything set up. Probably going to be a couple of weeks. Um, we're going to start off. I mean, we'll see what we're going to start off with. I think we're going to start off with some football because I have a bunch of football product. We'll mix in basketball. Probably going to mix in baseball, hockey. It'll wind up giving me I mean, nothing against anybody who follows the channel and everything, but it will give me a bigger audience there. If you're not familiar with District, you should go ahead and check it out. It is pretty cool. It's not just sports cards. There is everything else there. Uh, I'll probably be joining up with Midwest Box Breaks. Midwest, yeah. Ben, he had been on the show before, so and I spoke to Ivan. Ivan has been on the show before, so we've talked about it. So in the beginning stages right now, Uh, right now, we're talking about how they actual getting an account, a selling account, set up and stuff like that, and because there's different levels, not necessarily to the selling account, but because you could have a bunch of different channels within one, let's say, community, you have to get approved to sell on a bunch of them. So they work. That's all the backside stuff. So we are working on that. So we will be doing that. Yes, I mean, yeah, I mean, of course, eBay doesn't like Mets fans. It's the truth. It kind of sucks. Most definitely will. I hope it's the Skins. I'm not a Giants fan. Um, although you know, I probably should want the Giants to go ahead and win, so that this way they can have more wins than my Jets. So that this way my Jets can continue to suck and maybe get a good draft pick. You know, future is not very bright as a Jets fan. So, but man, oh man, what do we have going on? Matty Ice is in the house, and man, holy cow, his Pacers pull off the upset, beat the Celtics by 3 in overtime. Wowzers. Good for them. Uh, my New York Knicks won. Really nice. Man, the Yankees, they jump out, they go down 3-0 since we had the last show, you know, lose the 2 in LA, lose game 3, they win game 4. They jump out big against the Dodgers 5-0, and then like that they gave it all up. Errors. Aaron Judge makes an error. Volpe makes an error, which is flipping ridiculous. That Volpe is a finalist for the Gold Glove with the way he plays, but for Francisco Lindor is not. Bunch of crap. Not only does eBay not like the Mets, obviously Major League Baseball Golden Glove people don't like the Mets either. Freaking conspiracy. Pretty soon I'm not gonna go ahead and yeah, I'm gonna have to open up the windows and scream, "I'm not gonna take it anymore." Yeah, but it's 5-5. Crazy stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I hope I do hope that uh, the Yankees go ahead and win. They are a New York team. People go, "Oh, you can't do it." You know what? Hey, I will root for a New York team to win, except for the New York Rangers. They're probably the only New York team that I will never root to win. They cannot lose enough. Look at this. We got Big Zach in the house. What's up? So we'll see. I mean, Yankees had that game. They just gave it right away. Gave it right away. I need some wrestling. So we got on the shirt. We got the best there is, the best there was. Best there ever will be. Jim the Anvil, Big Boss Man. We got Jake the Snake, Rowdy Ryder Piper, and we got the Warrior. So Topps new Otani 50/50 card run was 600,000. I did not see that. I got mine, and all I got didn't get the special ones. I do have some tops now that I'm gonna do on a video. So I did when the Mets were in there, I was getting the tops nows and stuff. So uh, I did go ahead and do that. Yeah, I mean that's just crazy. 600,000 print run. It's gonna be see what it's. I don't know. I tell you the Tops doesn't. Yeah, that's right. Tops. You know what? You're right. Tops doesn't like Met fans either. Although I don't know. I mean, I got the one, but like Mark Vientos, so those print runs were really, really low. So there's a chance that I could have a numbered card out of those. So I'm not gonna say they don't like up me just yet. Let me open up my tops now, and then I'll make that claim maybe next week. From that standpoint. Um, but buying the Georgia Bulldogs. Oh, I didn't know that they were having those for the Georgia Bulldogs. There are a lot of people, Sean, I tell you, there are a lot of people who bought. Look, they figured, hey, I'll spend 30, $40. It's a raffle ticket. If I get the one of one, I'm going to be set. Did you see the baseball? The baseball sold, uh, which is pretty cool from that standpoint. So from that standpoint, that's pretty interesting. I forgot what the final total was. I think it was over $3 million. I don't know whatever happened with those lawsuits and everything, but some things kind of sort of seem pretty simple with that whole thing. One guy had the ball, had it, and the other guy went ahead and reached his hand in. So I'm not sure what's happening with that whole lawsuit thing. Johnny wants to know if no more are interested in a possible A&G break. 2 cases of holiday tins. That would be interesting. The tins are oh, right over. Why are we out of focus? The tins are pretty cool from what I could tell. I think you got 6 tins in the case. What would that be? A total of 12 tins, Johnny? I didn't realize. Kenneth, Mr. Bird, what's happening? Yeah, so it would be a total of 12 tins. So that's not that bad. I don't know. I have not seen. I read about the tins, but I'm not sure. I don't understand. With some of the special cards in it, because I think in a tin you get 50 something base, and then you get your special cards. So it's definitely worth a shot. It's gonna be a little different. Um, I'm waiting to see. I know my LCS is getting megas, and they said they were getting something else that I didn't see. I haven't heard of. I know they have the tins. I asked them if they were getting the tins, and they said they were not getting the tins. They were actually getting another box configuration. Not exactly sure what it is. So it's 54 base cards, and then you get 9 inserts. That's pretty cool. And the tins are pretty cool. And I'm sure if you join that break, you could probably, ask John if you give him a couple extra bucks, maybe he'll send you one of the tins. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So, hey guys, if you're on Facebook and everything, John Cole, that's your fire starter break. Check out his page. There's some great painting, really cool stuff. I mean, sometimes, I mean, tomorrow is Halloween. So tonight is what is mischief night, I guess they call it. So tomorrow's Halloween. I think John should get one of them big ass Bob Ross afros and go live and make a painting tomorrow on Halloween. I think it would be the best thing we should do. I was like, oh, 59 total cards. So it's 54 base and 5. So again, hit up John, hit up John. Um, Man, what else do we have going on? We have a guest coming on next week on the show. Going to be actually the guy who's doing a selling cards, and he's kind of like a matchmaker, I guess, or a wish granter. Some people wishing for cards. All the people are trying to sell the cards, back and forth. Big thunderstorms tonight. The kids got lucky. We have a small neighborhood. We don't have a lot of kids in the neighborhood. So, honestly, we'll probably be done early, from that standpoint. Uh, you know, so ours shouldn't be that bad. and then, Friday, head to Walmart when they go ahead and mark down the good candy 50% off. Yeah, 3 p.m. start if they can. But I don't know. One of the big things that happens down here. I don't know if it happens a lot where you guys are, but a bunch of the churches and other kinds of organizations, some of them they do trunk or treat. So they basically, in the parking lot, people just, bring their cars, pull them into a parking spot, open up the trunk, and they have candy, and the kids walk around from car to car with candy. Tutu Bronx living rugby guy. Well, I mean, he's not he's not in the Bronx, but hey, anything's possible. Trick or treating is really kind of dumb at this point anyway. Yeah, it just be, hey, give me a treat. I mean, nobody goes ahead, and does it. Yeah, he has so much candy. So now, all righty, Maddie. So here's one for the chat. Look, I know it's collective profit. We talk about a lot of different things here. If you're watching the show for the first time, you know what? This is what we do here. We have topics that we, the host, want to talk about, but the chat is the most important part of this show. So we go with what the chat wants to talk about. Question is this, Matty Ice: does your son get to keep all the candy, or do you divide it out and then you go in there and sneak what you like? That's the big question. No, you're right. You got that right. We used to go out and everything, and and then you used to actually, used to used to try and see if there was a way to get to the good houses more than once. You should maybe you hit them early. Once you knew where the good houses were, you hit them early, and then you hit them later on at night because at that point they're not going to turn you away because they want to get rid of the candy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look who it is! You, s- Sean. You speak his name, and Batman shows. He keeps most of it. He does show up. Oh, that's so nice. Dom, it's for the kids, Dom. You gotta love the kids. Pink Tutu. Beast, you gotta hit Dommy up. Huddle, look at your phone. Oh boy. So the Halloween joke is, why do witches like riding brooms? Because they like the Halloweeners. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Feed the kids some real grub. You know what, Dom? In today's day and age where everybody is struggling financially, that free candy may be the only thing that little Johnny gets to eat that day. And we have to be thankful that at least little Johnny was able to get a couple of candy corns, maybe a Reese's peanut butter cup, maybe a Milky Way, and some Whompers. Dom's handing out tomato. He hands out apples, but he throws tomatoes at them as they're coming up the stairway. Why did the tomato blush? Give them broccoli and they won't come be back. Well, you got that true. We did have, I mean, when I grew up, there was some kids that there was a house who gave out apples, but your mother would never let you eat them because there's gonna be needles in them or pins or razor blades, all some kind of stuff. And if there was loose candy corn threw in, you weren't able to eat that because they could have dipped it in stuff and you can die from that and everything. So just crazy. Tommy saying hello to everybody. They saw the salad dressing. Boo. Oh gosh, here we go. So now, hey, welcome to Collecting Profit, your Wednesday night comedy hour. Oh, what's the worst thing about eating vegetables? Dom, you have to have faith that Pete Alonso is going to remain a New York Met, my friend. You cannot. I'm at my house. I'm at my house. I just went with a I was doing so Anthony and I do the other show. We have the other podcast, Achieve More podcast, which if anybody would love to go ahead and come on and share your story of what you've done, what you do for work, how you become successful. We'd love to go ahead and have you on. Just let me, hit up Anthony. You guys should still have his contact information. If not, send me an email and I can get you a calendar where you can fill it out. So we have something like that. But when we do those interviews, I blurt out my background and I just forgot. You had acid put on a Pop Tart when you were a kid. Oh my gosh. Hey, I should really irritate the kids and just give them all, baseball cards from the baseball team from Georgia. They'd never come. Well, they would probably go ahead and come around. Or just cut them all in half and then throw the pieces in their bags. No, but man, so again, just getting back to Allen and Ginter, looks like they got one of the things that I like about the Allen and Ginter, I've always liked is the non-sports cards. Looks like they have some good ones. I think it would be pretty cool. John Daly, I saw Usain Bolt. They do have some of the first. They still have some of the football players. They have Caleb Williams in there. Drake May is in there. So you can go ahead and get a nice little, variety of players. I haven't looked. I did not see, and somebody go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, or not correct me if I'm wrong, but please let me know um, what the specialty stuff is. That we've seen they've had, mountains and they've had sharks and they've had, ducks and geese and build a sandwich, the all kind of stuff. Um, I didn't notice what I didn't notice what it was this year. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's pretty cool. See if I can get to Beckett here so I can fill in the crowd. Dogs. Oh yeah, dogs and flags. Man, do they have the Italian flag? Wait, now dogs as in dogs, or dogs in like hot dogs? Flags and sister cities. Eh, I don't know. Let's see. Inserts. Mini 50 state minis. So the 50 state minis. All right. Well, the New York card would be an awesome one. Show dogs. Now that would be pretty cool. Oh, so they got ballpark bites box loader. So you can go ahead and get, you can get a, Polish sausage, Italian sausage, minis. They're all dogs and candies and stuff. That Batoids breath beneath it minis. Electric ray, manta ray, spotted ray, shark. They got a buzzing checklist. There's a bunch of bees. I don't see these dogs, man. I don't see these dogs. Flags of the world. All right, so we're gonna have to go ahead and get the United States one, and we are gonna have to get the Italian one. They better have freaking Italian. They better have Italy over here. There we go. Number 32, Italy. We got the itch mini. Apple, auto leather, bacon, barbecue, chocolate. Okay. I didn't see any influencer cards either. They got the medals. They got the box loaders. Rays of the world. Rays in the world. They don't have that list. Sister and sister. So, for instance, you could get Shanghai and Chicago because, you know, those two cities have a crap ton uh, involved. You got your stained glass. Man, holy cow. Swamp creatures. There you go. You get yourself, the American alligator or the wood stork or the Florida gar. Maybe you get yourself a tarpon, white-tailed deer, a mosquito, uniform count. Oh, that's baseball players. World's tallest mountains. I don't know what the I don't know what the what the case hit is supposed to be. Shanghai pizza is the best. World's tallest mountains. You got those. You got the X-rays card. Not sure what that is, but I guess I don't see a show dogs unless I missed that one. Because if they have show dogs and they have, a German short-haired pointer, I'm gonna have to get one of them. But there's so many possibilities and so many cards in this. I wonder, like Beast, if you did that break. Wow. I mean, that would be very interesting. Striker was pulling a dog card out of almost every pack. Huh. Are you sure it's not hot dogs? Because I'm looking at the checklist right now and I don't see a dog. Like I don't see, a schnauzer. I see buzzing, which is all different kinds of bee. Ooh, they got an Italian bee. Guess what card I gotta get? I gotta find me Buzz number 5, the Italian bee. They have the dinosaur DNA relic cards. That would have to be a case hit, right, Dom? I saw the lineup relic one. That's pretty cool. That would be a freaking wicked ass card to go ahead and get. That's probably under the autographs. Oh, memorabilia. Allen and Ginter relics. The lineup card relic. That's pretty damn cool. I like that. I like that. Oh, yep. The mini DNA of the dinosaurs. One in 58,000 hobby boxes. Westminster dog types. Well, I'm gonna have to find them. See what they have. The relic checklist. I mean, you could actually get relics from the non-sports guys or girls. Rip cards. No, I don't know. I tell you, I got a question for you guys. If you went ahead and got a rip card, what would you do if would there be a reason for you not to rip it? Foodie, So if you got a rip card, um, you'd sell it, or you would sell it. I mean, I don't disagree with selling it. So you would sell it. Yep, Amelia Earhart would be a cool one. But seriously, if you were to go ahead and if you were to go ahead and pull a rip card, what would you do with it? Would depend on the player and what it's numbered to. So the actual rip card, the card before you rip, that is numbered. So I'm curious about that. More valuable, not ripped. True. So that means you would be looking to sell it then. Okay, so they have had ones that have been numbered. Jim NFL. How you doing, buddy? How's it going? Welcome. Okay. You would not set it on fire, so stop. But in all seriousness, if you go ahead and you go ahead and yeah, it's true. They have the double rip cards this year. What would it be? What would it be? If it's obviously I'm thinking like, if it's like I said, I saw a picture of on Facebook, somebody pulled a Christopher Morel. It wasn't numbered or anything, nothing special about it. So, I mean, to me, that's a card that makes sense to rip because who knows what you're going to be able to you find in it. Trade for more boxes. Yeah, I don't. I mean, like I said, I don't disagree. I'm just curious because I don't know if I would rip one, especially if especially if the card was numbered. Like because I mean, you're not guaranteed, pardon me, anything special if you rip it. You could get a base card if you rip it. So that's why I'm curious about, man, Dommy been hitting the head a lot, man. Playing rugby, he's getting mean. Arr. Um, yeah, I don't know. I definitely agree. It would depend on what the card is. If the card was numbered and it's not a player that I would really care about, I would definitely go ahead and sell it for sure. Right. Yeah, that's why I'm saying. I mean, I would think, you probably sell it would have the best chance to excuse me, if you sell it, you'd have the best chance to at least make something. Yankees go ahead 6-5. Thank you, Jim. Heading to the top of the seventh inning. Garrett Cole is still in. I tell you, I don't think the Dodgers were planning on a bullpen game today, and it turned into one because Jack Flaherty only lasted 35 pitches. So I guess Jack would be available if it gets to maybe a game 7. Although I don't know why you would go ahead and if it gets the game, why you would get to that point, probably not because you're going to have Walker Bueller. So you got to figure the Dodgers will go with Yamamoto if it goes to game 6. Not sure what the Yankees will do. Um, probably Carlos Rodon, and then then you got to just don't you can't even worry about game 7 at this point in time. And you love it, don't you, Dom? You wouldn't change anything. You love it. So, hey, they're not. It's you know, Dodgers are 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Yankees are 1 for 8. Left on base for the Yankees 10. Left on base for the Dodgers 4. I tell you, the Yankees bats have gone. I mean, they've obviously scored 11 runs last game. Scored 6 runs tonight so far. Not too bad. Speaking of last night's game, what did you guys think about that whole Mookie Betts play? Yeah, I'll root for the New York team. There's only one New York team that I will not root for. Only one. Only one. And it's in the sport that would rank, 4 if you're doing the major sports. That's all right, man. Yeah, they did just ban him for 1 game, which was crazy. But I tell you, man, that I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen that before in a baseball game. That's the first time I'd ever seen that. Jim is saying that the Yankees are gonna win tonight, but they're gonna lose game 6. Oh, no, 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 no. I will always root for the Islanders. It's the other team right there. The Rangers are a team that I cannot root for. I can, I don't have a problem. I mean, if the New York Giants make the Super Bowl, I like to see that. I'm okay with that. If my Jets can't win, if my Knicks can't win, if the Brooklyn Nets were to get there, I wouldn't have a problem going for them. Um, Islanders, yep. But that other team, the Strangers, man, just cannot do it. Dodgers and 6. Yeah, I mean, I think, looking into it, the Dodgers going back. So, the interesting, piece to all of this is, Otani, since he's gotten hurt, you know, hasn't done a whole lot, you know? He went over 3 in the first game in New York. Now, so I, that shoulder is really going ahead and getting to him. Boris going to try and get Soto 600 mil or more. Um, yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I mean, I understand the whole. What I'm wondering is this: will another team offer the same type of uh, contract that Otani got? Am I? I don't know what's going on. Every now and then, my computer wigs out a little bit. I must have to do some kind of update. So I wonder, so I wonder if with these next batch of free agents, especially the ones that potentially are going to have big contracts, um, I really wonder if they're going to look to the same type of deal. What I mean, he does not want to go back out west. No, he doesn't. He wants to stay here. I think personally, I heard the Phillies may try and get involved. I think he ends up in one of the 2 New York teams. Uh, unless, well, I don't know if anybody would offer him the same type of deal as they have with Otani. I'm just saying, if I don't know if anybody is going to be willing to commit. So if someone said, "Hey, we'll give you 10 years, 600 million. But what we want to do is we want to pay you 2 million a year, and then we'll pay you 580 million or 58 million a year for, 10 years after that. I don't know if another team other than, let's face it, one of the New York teams, probably Philadelphia, if you want to stay on the East Coast, those are probably the only three teams that can or will, you know, attempt that type of deal. Lions Bills would be crazy. That would be very, very interesting. The Lions are looking really good in football. Um, I have a funny feeling that Jameson Williams, although his cards weren't really selling for that much, with him getting in trouble, his are going to take a hit. Goff was probably one of those guys a couple years ago. You could have got his stuff on the cheap, but I think his is probably bumped up. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking that he's in the price of Mahomes or Lamar Jackson as far as quarterbacks go. Though that upper price point there, but I'm sure his cards have gone up. For a wide receiver perspective, I'm sure Amon Ross St. Brown. Uh, I'm sure his card values have gone up somewhat. But Detroit is a very, very good team. Buffalo making it. I'm, that's a tough one, Jim. That's a tough one. Their road is so hard to get through. They're gonna have to go through either Pittsburgh or Baltimore. I would think. Problem, Kansas City. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they incorporate Amari Cooper into their team now. They are getting Von Miller back, so that should help their defense. So we'll see what happens. I think the next, it'll be interesting. I think we're gonna have a good, next, what is that, 60% for 60% of the season left or so. If yeah, oh, yeah, if he makes his cards gonna go. But I'll tell you right now, John, it scares me that he's going to be able to go ahead and stay healthy. I don't know. I mean, I know he's Lamar like and that he likes to run, be able to run, do the other kind of stuff. I mean, I just don't know. He's going to have to hit the weight room. He's going to have to wind up getting a little bit bigger and stuff. From that standpoint, that would be bad. Would be the 15th overtime Monday night because neither one is allowed to win. So Miller might be washed, maybe based off of expecting big numbers for him. But hey, he has come through in big games, and if they limit his, snap count stuff like that, who knows? Yeah, I find it hard to beat Kansas City. Gonna be tough there. Texans or Bills do it both. Both teams face the Chiefs in the regular season. Yeah, I mean Texans just lost their wide receiver. They just lost Devon Diggs. He's out all year long with an ACL. So, a guy that they were planning on just went out. Um, you got to figure, look, D Hop has been traded. Amari Cooper has been traded. Deontay Johnson has been traded. Devontae Adams has been traded. Who can, the Texans go after now before the trade deadline to try and get? I mean, are the Rams ready to trade a Cooper Cup? From that standpoint, just not sure, who else might be available, to players. True, they're definitely a different team this year. Definitely a different team than they were, last year. That's what I'm saying. I don't, with the Rams being in the race, that's what I mean. Cooper Cup is probably the only guy. I don't know who else out there could be on the trade, block. from a standpoint. I just don't know who out there, from a team who's basically going ahead and giving up, you know, um, it's going to be out there. So I don't know. I don't think I mean I agree. I don't think Cooper Cup's going to go anywhere. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, but they're not that far off, Jim. I mean, when you look at the NFL standings, I mean, they are 3-4, but Arizona, San Francisco, and Seattle are only 4-4. So it's not like they are. It's not like you know they're 1-6. They're 3-4. Joe Flacco. Well, I hope that kid. Uh, I hope that kid understands what happened. You can't be one of the. We can't be one of the 32 quarterbacks in the NFL and tap your helmet to come out because you're tired. Yeah. I mean, you think about it. They lost. They what at some point in time between Ayuk and Sam Debo, both of those guys have been hurt at points in time. McCaffrey hasn't even stepped on the freaking field yet. So I mean, you think about it. If they could remain relevant in that division, if they could remain tied or near the top, let McCaffrey go ahead and let him go ahead and rest up and stuff, and you know I don't know, maybe bring him back week 10. Week 11, maybe he gets, 6 games under his belt or something along those lines. And those 6 games he gets from rust off. They stay relevant. They win the division. Then they're a different team. They become a lot dangerous, if he goes ahead and comes back. Yeah, that's one of those things I mean, I don't know if he has said anything in a press conference or on Twitter or anything, or on X or anything like that, or Instagram, or about what happened. But he needs to, you know, when he gets back in the game, he needs to go ahead and he's going to have to perform. He's going to have to be extra special when he goes ahead and comes back. Well, that's true. Yeah, they got a shot. They got a shot, Dami. They got a shot. I don't know. I tell you, the team that gets me, and they still do, but they shouldn't, um, is Pittsburgh. I just the Steeler. I mean, let's tell you, Mike Tomlin, the dude should have a freaking trophy case, a freaking Coach of the Year awards for what he does with that team. Well, that is true. That is true, Jim. I mean, you're 100% correct. I mean, look at Mac. You could throw in guys like Mac Jones. You could throw in guys like Zach Wilson. I mean, even more recent guys, than Ryan Leaf and stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can't be like that. You can't be like that. But this is what this is what the NFL has turned into. So we should not be surprised by that. The kid played what, one full year. Oh my gosh, against college football players. Not saying they're not good, but he plays in the SEC. That's like the mini NFL. No, it is not. Let's not go ahead. The SEC is great football, but please, this is not, you know, just a little bit below, the NFL. Stop it. We need to stop that kind of crap. Yeah. I mean, that's what it has become, and when you look at, you look at all the number 1 guys out there and everything. I mean, always look at Trevor Lawrence, right? Trevor Lawrence. Oh, He's the prototypical size. He has the prototypical arm. He could read defenses great. What is he doing in Jacksonville? He was supposed to be like a friggin' can't miss friggin' guy. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's other things, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna throw I mean, you make some good points in that period. But yeah, Purdy was yeah, that's true. Forgot about him. Purdy, last pick. He's doing what he's got to do. And you think about it, don't forget, when Cousins was drafted, remember, there was somebody else drafted ahead of him. They drafted two quarterbacks. There's another one you forgot, Jim. RG3. Now, might be injuries, who doesn't make a difference. But there's another guy right there, you know. But when you look, I mean, I understand people go, oh, you got to have the quarterback. If you don't have the quarterback, blah blah blah. But man, I tell you, you know, you have some of these guys, some of these teams, they're taking chances on these 1-year wonders, and the what's going on. I'm nothing against Jaden Daniels, nothing against Richardson, but you look at some of these guys and stuff. I mean, they didn't do it a lot. It's not like you have a guy who has started many games in college football. And I'm not even saying that that is a good enough reason to say, hey, this guy's going to be a star. Not saying that at all, you know, but it doesn't mean not, I mean, I don't know. You get drafted high and you're on a bad team for a reason, so some of these guys, you still got to put the right people around them. And the salary cap now is another thing that's screwing up a whole bunch of teams. Because what do you do with some of these guys? What do you do with some of them? From that standpoint, you get to that point where you get to that contract and you're like, my gosh, so it makes it easier for them to move on. Makes it easier for a team to move off of them in the first couple of seasons. But once you get to that season 4, and if a guy is what do you do? Trevor Lawrence has not been that great of a quarterback. But what is Jacksonville going to do? Not pay him and let him walk? So it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how things, move forward and everything. That's true. They also came after Kenny O'Brien for the New York Jets, and that's painful to bring up. Larkin, I don't know, but they should freaking do it more because a lot of them aren't proving it for way more money than Mahomes. They should look at you're like you're an idiot. You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. I tell you, I'm never a Tom Brady fan. Um, I wish the guy would have sucked, but I give the guy credit because he should have gotten paid a lot more than what he did. I think Mahomes looked at that a little bit, and it's not like Mahomes left. It's not like Mahomes isn't going ahead and getting taken care of. He still signed one hell of a contract, right? But there's enough wiggle room in there to where you can do other things. It's no different, than what, let's say, like Otani did, for the Dodgers by deferring that money and making it so that that the salary tax and salary cap, not the salary tap, the payroll tax, whatever that is, wasn't so high, and let them get Yamamoto. Might also make him get that other, Japanese pitcher who's thinking of going ahead and coming over. Why? Because they have the funds. In basketball, you look at some of the players. You look at Jalen Brunson for the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson left like $100 million on the table in this last contract he signed. So he's hoping to go ahead and win a chip with the team in New York and everything, and then he's going to go ahead and he'll sign that super max deal, in 3 years. So that's, I think, what it winds up being in the beginning. Right. That's what I mean. He did. He went ahead and he put team above himself. Now look, let's not forget, his wife was also making $100 million a year being a supermodel, so it wasn't like he was the only one. He wasn't the only one bringing home the bacon. He went ahead and, you know, he had they were a dual income family. No, they never did, but I think but what happened was is a lot of those players had to have that mindset that winning was more important than getting paid. They had to, because a lot of them stayed there and they won too many damn Super Bowls, and stuff like that. And so they did get paid. Whew, pardon me. They just didn't get paid. I mean, don't forget when you're looking at a Welker, right? And you're looking at an Element, like they weren't like the top guys. They weren't going to get top wide receiver money anyway. Dusty, what is going on, man? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Eh, Mindset goes ahead and helps. Attitude, putting team over yourself is a big one. you know, I don't think he needed that with going when he was going home. All right, we're at the top of the eighth inning. Well, it's probably ESPN is probably behind the regular broadcast. I'm just going by what ESPN has, ESPN.com has. So if I'm behind, I'm sorry. Man, I don't know. It's I guess the football players they'll make up for it. I think it's going to be interesting to see. You talk about AR, Richardson. You talk about what Bryce Young. Although Bryce Young's cards never really were going for big money, AR's cards were going for some decent coin. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of dip his cards take in the market. Excuse me. From that standpoint, but I mean, a lot of them. Lawrence's cards went down. I mean, I don't know whose cards are going up in football. I mean, I'm sure Caleb. I mean, Jaden Daniels, as long as he stays healthy, I'm sure his cards will go up and stuff. But rookie class. I mean, a lot of these rookie quarterbacks. I mean, I think Bo Nix is doing better than a lot of people, thought he was probably going to do. He is. He's done some good stuff. Mindset wins many more than talent. The men's soccer team had a perfect season in their league. It's the mindset having crappy players and getting them to play up. I mean, um, I mean, I don't disagree with you saying, but when you're not getting paid, the mindset becomes a different issue. A lot of these guys, their mindset is, hey, my career could end at any particular time. I want to get my money. Neo and a couple of guys posted today that football cards crashed or something. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, I haven't double checked. I'll have to look and see what those guys were talking about, but they are typically those cards. They're not moving the way you want them to move. I mean, I think your superstars are going to be your superstars. Um, I think what you're seeing happening is this AR type mindset of those guys of them saying, "Hey man," and stuff. And I think I think people are starting to look at football and saying, you know what, the um, the new guys are not where it's at. I'm gonna buy, Mahomes. Okay, I mean, even Herbert's down. I'm gonna buy Lamar. Maybe I'm gonna buy Goff right now. But you know what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna buy Joe Montana. I'm gonna buy some of these other, quarterbacks and stuff. In my opinion, from that standpoint, from I mean, I think that's what you're gonna wind up seeing. Football cards are gonna become so volatile, I think, in pricing, because I don't know. I just think about it from a standpoint of is where's the value going to come from? I mean, let's look at if you look at football this year, who's doing really well out of first round draft picks? I don't think there's any wide receivers. I mean, Malik Neighbors is doing good, but I don't think anybody's going, oh my gosh, whoo, I mean, Harrison in Arizona. I mean, again, where you get drafted is going to matter, right? I think some of these guys, I think some of them are going to start to look and go, look, I want to. They're going to try and. I think you're going to see maybe in the future the NIL stuff. They're going to say, hey, if I can go ahead and get paid to play, why do I have to wait to go ahead and go into the NFL? But I think you're going to see some of these guys I think we're going to see a little bit of a switch here because if the bad teams stay bad, good players are not going to want to go there. So I'm going to declare early, get my contract, and get to my second contract when I can leave and go someplace and get big dollars. I think that's one of the things that yeah, you might be looking at. Foosball will fall as Tops kicks Panini's BS out the door. Yeah, that's gonna be another big one. That's gonna be another one. Um, from a rookie perspective, Dom, I'm sure Caleb Williams. I mean, I'm sure, Jaden Daniels. But with the way Daniels plays, I don't know if I would invest heavy in him because I think he's a guy who's, who could easily the way he runs around and stuff, he can go ahead and get out. I think Lamar Jackson uh is probably, but honestly, I think Mahomes, I don't know. I don't know if St. Brown, I don't know. He's a wide receiver. So unless he's breaking records right now, unless he's breaking, Randy Moss, Jim Rice. Nope, sorry, that's baseball. Jerry Rice, type records now. I don't know, what you're gonna think of from a value perspective. You know, Mahomes, he will. I think he's proven enough. Um, he gets one more Super Bowl. I think then that even changes. Then I think he becomes more of a sure thing. I mean, I think he's pretty close to a sure thing right now, but one more definitely for sure. But I don't think, if you're talking about, you know, wide receivers, running backs, I just don't see any long-term value, in those. You can day trade NFL all you want. You can't win Super Bowls. Ask Eli Manning. You can day trade NFL all you want. You can't win Super Bowls. Ask Eli Manning. Eli Manning was just 2-0, right? And he beat, people who think the greatest quarterback to ever play was. So, I don't know. You and your damn early mornings. Well, that's true. Thank you very much for being here. Much appreciated, Maddie. Thank you very much. Um, no, but Dom, I mean, honestly, in football, I think football's going to be a different perspective. Football, to me, if you're trying to gain, if you're looking at investing or anything, to me, I think you still got to look at your young quarterbacks and don't get attached to them for too long. I think the way if you're gonna go ahead and deal with any kind of value, a Mahomes different story, but if you even look at Herbert, you look at Burrow, you look at those guys, that were the next, set of guys, who were right up there. I'm not necessarily sure, that what kind of value those guys are gonna have long time if they don't win. Different story about like Jim Kelly and Dan Marino. Very different in my opinion. I think in today's modern card guys, I think they have to win. It's just my opinion. I don't know anything, but that's just my opinion. I think they have to win. I don't think you will see a lot of value if they don't win or do something spectacular. If Joe Burrow winds up throwing for the most touchdowns or the most passing yards, yes, excuse me, if Herbert does one of those things, yes. But if they never smell a Super Bowl, I just don't see how their cards go up, that much. Well, I don't disagree. I don't I mean, I agree with you. I agree from the standpoint. I'm not saying Eli Manning was a great football player. Eli Manning, though, is two had does have two Super Bowl rings. I mean, maybe he hit lightning in the bottle twice. Those 2 postseasons where they made it, everything worked out for them. But winning Super Bowls, quarterbacks winning Super Bowls doesn't mean that the value of their rookie cards or stuff is going to go up. I mean, for crying out loud, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Rob Johnson won a Super Bowl. I mean, it's not like you're talking about Rich Gannon, you know, won a Super Bowl. So I don't think you're really looking too much at well, maybe Rich Gannon didn't win. Maybe he did. I'm not sure. But you know what I'm saying from that standpoint. Eli auto is looks like a Chris Sabo auto. Well, hey, you know. Yeah, I think, again, I will say, in my opinion, football from if we always seem to have to talk when it comes to the players about the value of their cards and stuff. And the truth is that, in my opinion, you know, there's the craziness of football that should not be there, because those guys, with the newer players, a guy that's in the league a year, a guy that's in the league 2 years, right? Because it's so volatile. Because next thing you know, boom, they're done. Again, hey, I look at um, you look at Zach Wilson, his rookie cards, even that first year when he was struggling and everything, they were still, low number, patch cards or, elephant prints or crazy stuff from Panini. The crap was still going for well over $100, you know. And if you look, there's probably still some out there right now on eBay for $100. But but that's just it. Those cards ain't going to $10,000. They're not going to $100,000 like Patty Mahomes's cards, you know. Uh, I would like to say, but I don't know, but not worth $60. Well, the funny thing is it depends on how much he signs. If Chris Sabo does not sign a lot, then $60 is not unreasonable. It's not like, rest in peace, Pete Rose. But Pete Rose signed everything and anything. There's so many Pete Rose autographs out there. So a player guy, someone who does that, someone who signs a lot, their value is not going to be there. But a guy who doesn't sign a lot will be there. Oh, the Dodgers have tied the game up. Gavin Lux hits a sacrifice fly as Enrique Hernandez scores, and Tommy Edman goes to third to base. Chris Sabo cork back. Oh, that's true. I forgot he did go ahead and he did get a cork bat. This game just got interesting now, and the bases are jammed for the Dodgers with one out. This could be the game right here. Luke Weaver is going to have to figure out a way to get out of a bases loaded jam with one out, and he's going to face Mookie Betts and or Freddie Freeman. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, especially from the 90s World Series. Oh, the Dodgers take the lead as Mookie Betts hits the sacrifice fly. The New York Yankees are going to be down to at least 6 outs to go ahead and get a run. Oh, boy. Will they be celebrating in New York tonight? Who knows? So, but football card, I mean, it's kind of like hockey cards. Hockey's the same way. There's only a couple of modern players, worth trying to go ahead and collect right now. Uh, you know, again, to a hockey guy, maybe some of these other players, um, you know, that got drafted over the last, couple years become something. But right now, again, low number of parallels and autographs, those are going to be it. But, your typical, basic, patch card or just a base auto and stuff like that. I mean, there's only a few players. I think it's not like baseball. I think, when you look at baseball, um, there are plenty of stars in baseball whose cards are worth something. It's just, fortunately, that's just the way it is. I think basketball right now, basketball is being dominated right now by Wemby. He's the big card, man. He's the one that everybody wants and stuff. And I don't know what that does for, the other guys that were in that draft cast or some of the other guys and stuff. But that's where everybody's pouring their money into right now. So we will see what happens. So, well, gang, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shut it down. Uh, Also want to watch the last, inning and a half of this World Series game to see if. All right, so we've gotten to the bottom of the eighth. Yankees are down by one. They got Soto. They got Judge. Is Ellie any better than Billy Hamilton? Ellie is way better than Billy Hamilton. You can't even compare the two. So you just stop it there, Mr. Reds fan. Knicks are winning the World Series and the NBA championship. Not sure, but I bet $1 on that. Knicks are going to be very interesting this year. I think we as Knicks fans are going to be very frustrated in the beginning of the year because we are going to have a lot of ups and downs as this team tries to gel, work together. The thing that scares me about the New York Knickerbockers right now is here we are, fourth game of the year, and the Knicks are only playing 8 guys. And they had basically 3 guys, their starters, 40 minutes, 37 minutes, 39 minutes, 36 minutes, 42 minutes. You can't do that this time of the year. You cannot do that this time of the year. Don't get me wrong. Not like a lot of teams are going super deep, but with these guys, you can't. It's not going to work out well. But that being said, again, hey, have a great night, everybody. Much appreciated. I think I'm going to open up tomorrow. I'll have a video posted tomorrow. I'm going to do one of those haunted hoops boxes, 90 packs, 270 cards. I'm going to speed rip a whole bunch and stuff like that. So have a great night. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for showing up. Don't forget, come on back. Next week, we have a guest. I'll talk about him in Monday's video. Thanks a lot, everybody.